We're live on 5 with Yasmin and James. We're joined now by the Labour councillor Sebastian Salek, because he's loyal to Keir Starmer, aren't you?
I think he's doing a good job.
There we are. And thank you for coming on the show. So let's discuss Starmer and the pressure over what he did during the Mandelson row. And we're thinking now he could even be gone from number 10 by Christmas. 0207 862 2222 is the number. Even with this massive majority, he's not completely safe. The Prime Minister acted yesterday to sack Peter Mandelson as US ambassador over his close ties to the paedophile Jeffrey Epstein. The Foreign Office said the decision was made after emails came to light in which Mandelson suggested Epstein's 2008 conviction for a child sex offence was wrongful and should be challenged. He sent lots of sort of sympathetic emails. And this meant, said the government, that the depth and extent of Mandelson's relationship with Epstein was materially different from what was known at the time of his appointment. Downing Street said it was not involved in the vetting process, and Starmer found the emails reprehensible. The Prime Minister has now come under fire, though, for failing to act quicker. And this is what he had said about Peter Mandelson less than 24 hours before the sacking.
The ambassador has repeatedly expressed his deep regret for his association with him. He's right to do so. I have confidence in him, and he's playing an important role in the UK-US relationship.
At that time, a 2003 birthday tribute in which Mandelson described Epstein as his best pal had already been released by US lawmakers. We can have a look at this, along with photos of the pair together. So this was for Epstein's 50th birthday, at which point he was not convicted. We should say that. Wherever he is in the world, he remains my best pal. This was all what should have been known by the people who said you can be US ambassador. We love you. Loving you with these interesting friends. Interesting friends. What does that mean? Mandelson had also, for his own part, admitted regret about his continued friendship with Epstein in an interview with The Sun's Harry Cole.
I feel a tremendous sense, a profound sense of sympathy for those people, those women who suffered as a result of his behaviour and his illegal criminal activities. And secondly, I regret very, very deeply indeed carrying on that association with him for far longer than I should have done.
Yeah, and he was associating with him after the man's conviction. That's the key thing that did for him. The former Foreign Secretary, James Cleverly, who's now Shadow Housing Secretary, tweeted this: about a week out from the state visit of President Trump, we've got no ambassador and a Foreign Secretary who's been in the job for only a few days. What a total fiasco. And this, he says, is all Starmer's fault. I can see him being gone by Christmas.
Will he be cooked by Christmas? No. I don't think so. This is, as you say, a massive majority. But let's park all the Mandelson stuff. Let's park everything else. And let's think about the problem we have as a country. People are hurting. We can all agree on that. And it is the imperative for the government to fix that. And that should be the focus.
And getting us to pay more tax?
Well, whatever it takes to get the country back on its feet.
So why didn't Angela Rayner pay her tax?
Well, she was found to have erred and she resigned. And it was the right thing to do for her to go. And she went very quickly as well. As soon as that Standards Commissioner report came out, she was gone. And that is, if we take one silver lining from all of this, and you've got to give them credit, Labour ministers, when they go very quickly.
What about that, Jay? That's true. OK, Keir Starmer supported Mandelson 2 days ago. That was a mistake. But 24 hours later, he did dump him pretty quickly.
Well, it became too toxic. I mean, I'm sort of fascinated that you sort of take this view that everything's going to be okay. I mean, I guess where I would agree is, will Starmer be gone by Christmas? I don't think he will be, because I think the Labour Party process for removing a leader is actually very difficult and complicated compared to other parties. So I think they'll just find it too difficult. And actually, I don't care whether he's Prime Minister or not, because I think the country is not actually caring who leads the Labour Party. They're actually looking forward to the next general election as to when they can vote them out, because they have not delivered on any single thing. We have had terrible judgment from this Prime Minister and from ministers. We have had terrible choices on the decisions. So the narrative, we'll fix the NHS, we'll sort out the economy, we'll build houses.
Smash the gangs.
Smash the gangs, all this stuff, great. But the reality is that when it comes to the intellectual thought to apply to the policy that is required to get the job done, it is not
Sebastian
there. It's not there.
Go on.
Well, let's talk about what has gone right, because there's quite a lot. More than 7 million more NHS appointments, GPs appointments are available then under the Tories.
Strikes continue.
You have got renters' rights. If you rent your home, you are not going to be able to be thrown out of your home by a landlord.
Less landlords,
like
less supply.
If you are somebody who works, if you have a job, you're going to have more rights than you've ever had before.
Pay more tax.
more tax.
Let him
Okay,
speak.
well, no, hang on.
I'm just replying.
This is
If you are-
fascinating.
If you are a parent,
This is like table tennis.
you can send your child to a free breakfast club and have more time in the morning
All
to
right.
go to work
So
to earn money for the exchequer.
Let's
to pay
check
more
on.
tax.
just
Let's check
nonsense.
on. We've got in a way James on the right. You're on the Starmer centre. Now we have the left.
Well, I
Go
agree
on.
with a lot of what you've said, and I won't ever fall into the trap of saying they're useless, they're no good, we want to get rid of them, let's get Farage in. I'm not of that camp. And you're right about the breakfast clubs, renters' rights, and actually Angela was behind them, and I wish she hadn't done this. But here's the problem. He has failed voters, especially Labour voters, on so many key fronts that for me, for the first time in my life, second actually, long ago I once didn't vote for Labour. I cannot vote for this party while Keir Starmer is
Really?
there. And these are the things for me that matter. The not reinstating the 3-child benefit, which has driven huge amounts of families into poverty. Not telling us the story. It's, he doesn't give us a narrative. Blair was really brilliant at that. Where's he going?Hy isn't he giving us a vision? Change is not a destination.
I think there is a vision. I think it's about security. If you are a renter,
No,
let's go
I
back
don't
to
want
those.
security.
You
I want
We all want
equality,
security.
justice.
It's a basic tenet of our society.
we
You want to be
want
safe
him-
in your home. You want to be safe in your job.
We had
You want to be safe
14
in your community
We wanted
with
to
more
get
policing.
rid of the Tories because they only helped their most privileged tribe.
Agreed.
We wanted to get rid of the Tories because of sleaze. We wanted to get rid of the Tories because they didn't care for ordinary people. I don't see evidence that Starmer tells us, I care about you.
Do you think he'll be gone by Christmas, Yasmin?
And I think he will go sooner
Wow,
than he thinks.
wow.
The conference will be quite interesting.
Yeah.
I've just contributed a chapter to a book called The Starmer Symptom, which is being published this week. And it's not all anti-Starmer stuff. Mine is, because for me, the biggest failure was Gaza. It's criminal. For me, it's unforgivable. But there are those who support Starmer who are also saying, share with us a vision.
Okay. Let me just, before you come back, Sebastian, let's just get a call. Joe in Sheffield, what do you think? We've got 3 different points of view here.
Oh, good morning, Jeremy.
Hiya.
Morning, panel. Please, could I speak to Yasmin, if that's okay?
Yes, well, we're all listening, though. I mean, we can't not listen.
Yeah, of course. Yasmin, I've written down a couple of points, and as always, I completely agree with you. I was going to say, where on earth do Labour supporters go from here? Because I think he's appalling. I will never vote for this Labour government ever again. I'm getting bombarded with emails from the Labour Party about
Hang on,
why
Joe,
I've
I know
not
you're talking
renewed
to
my...
Joe, you're literally preaching to the converted. You want to have a word with Sebastian.
Yeah.
So Sebastian needs to tell you
Let's
why
have
you're
a
wrong.
chat, Joe.
Come on, Sebastian can tell you why you've got it wrong.
The question
All
is,
right,
Joe,
Sebastian.
Hang on, Joe.
where are you going to go instead? You could go to the Greens. You could go to the Corbyn party. They're all protest parties. They're not going to come into government anytime soon. If you want to
They're
make
not.
real change, there's only one party for you.
No.
What about reform, Joe?
Go on. Ooh.
Well, I've got a different suggestion. What about Yasmin and Owen Jones and Nelifer and Marina and Gemma and Marvin and Matt
Blimey.
Stanley?
Oh, you know what happens.
this woman.
You know what happens, Joe. You know what happens if that happens. The rest of us will emigrate.
Good.
Well, so Joe has just mentioned.
Bye.
All right, hang on. Joe has just mentioned all of our, let's say, left-leaning panellists. That would be colourful, I must say. Joe, thank you. That's an interesting
It would
government.
implode within minutes.
Stay with us, Sebastian. After the break, we're taking more calls. I wanted to make a joke saying he's like one of the last people in the country to genuinely be really supportive of Keir Starmer, but I don't want to make that joke because I know there are others, but they don't always call the show because I think they're a bit puzzled as to what's going on. One car crash after another. So let's have some more calls on whether this is going to wipe Starmer out before Christmas. The former Foreign Secretary and Shadow Cabinet Minister James Cleverly thinks he will be gone by Christmas. I mean, with this majority, he shouldn't be. John is in the Scottish Borders. Hi, John.
Good morning, panel. How are we?
We're well. I'm actually coming up your part of the country to do an event called Bloody Scotland later today, so I look forward to seeing you there. What would you like to say?
Well, that would be fine. Yeah, my opinion on Mr. Starmer, he will be gone by Christmas.
Wow.
He's probably contacting his publishers at the moment to get the book wrote, and just like the rest of them, you'll get it published in GMTV. And your Labour councillor sitting next to you there, Jeremy.
Sebastian.
At the point, this is a point basically I'd like to make. Him and the rest of them, basically, they must think the British people are stupid. They're really treating the British people with so much, absolutely, with lies and everything else. How do they expect the British people to trust them? They're a disgrace.
Well, let's put Sebastian on the Bunsen there. Go on.
Thanks for sharing, John. The question I would ask you back is, whose interest is it for Starmer to go? Because when you replace your leader, you're basically starting from scratch. And this isn't a quick job. This is a 5-year at least job to fix the country. We're not just talking 14 years of Tory rule. We're talking 2008, the financial crisis. I don't think we've really recovered from that. So there's so much work to do to get this country back on track.
You think we're going forwards? Because I suspect, John, you think we're going backwards, do you?
I mean, of course, we're a year in and we're going backwards. I mean,
That's
Mr. Mandelson's now in the news this morning saying that they knew about Epstein. So what does that tell the people of Britain? How could we trust a Labour government and Mr. Starmer when the lies is just going round and round? They're only 1 year in with 14-year a Tory rule, and it was lies above lies above lies.
All right, John, thank you very much. We'll take a look at some... Thank you, John. You mentioned Mandelson. We will just take a look at some of the emails that brought him down. And, of course, there is this question about actually really, given that when he was business secretary, he did do some transactions with Epstein over a bank that needed money and stuff, and Epstein at that point was out of jail. So didn't people know? Let's have a look. So the key thing with Epstein is 2001 was the Prince Andrew photo, 2006 is when he was charged, 2008 is when he was convicted, and here's Mandelson the day after the conviction. I think, so he knows he's been found guilty. There's no two ways. I think the world of you, I feel hopeless and furious about what's happened. This might be the day before, actually. I can still barely understand it. Just could not happen in Britain. You've got to be incredibly resilient. Fight for early release and be philosophical about it as much as you can. The whole thing has been years of torture, and now you have to show the world how big a person you are and how strong. Your friends stay with you and love you. Given that there were a lot of very young girls who were victims of Epstein, it is sickening to read that. By the way, Mandelson would have known about that. Mandelson, reminder, you're fighting back, so you need strategy, strategy, strategy. Remember the art of war. So he's kind of being a counsellor there. A month before that, again, 2008, the year of Epstein's conviction. Peter, Mr. Big has a meeting Thursday with Lefke. Sounds Russian. I need your guy to remind him I beg your pardon. This is Epstein to Peter. Peter, Mandelson, Mr. Big has a meeting Thursday with Lefke. I need your guy to remind him one more time before the meeting, then we're done. Mandelson says, I will get a message. He's travelling at the moment. So this is where Epstein refers to a meeting between his lawyer and a person he called Mr. Big. Who was that? We don't really know. And one more from Mandelson. Worried I haven't heard from you. Are you seeing them off and winning? So and then there's a birthday event. That's before Epstein was convicted or jailed, but after he was charged, celebrating his 57th birthday. Not a good look at all. 53rd birthday, 2007. It's all so mucky. I mean, it's all dates and everything, but in the end is... Yasmin, there's no two ways around it. Mandelson was supportive of him and pally with him when he must have known he was a paedophile and a danger to young women. There's no question about it.
Yeah, and there's a picture where there's a very young woman who looks like a teenager.
Yeah.
Her face is redacted, and an older woman. And here is Mandelson in the sun with them. He absolutely must have known what was going on.
I'm thinking you won't defend any of that, Sebastian, will you?
Not at all. It's absolutely haunting to read everything you've just read out. And I think the government was really right to get rid of him as soon as they could.
Did they make a misjudgment waiting for 24 hours?
Well, look, I mean, could they have done it a bit sooner? Probably. Is that going to matter in a week's time? I don't think so.
Appointing him in the first place.
They got rid of him.
But they knew all this stuff, really, didn't they?
But you see, that's the point.
Not the granular stuff, but they knew that they were pally.
I think that's the point, is that when you are in a position and you are making appointments, and forgetting about one's political views or otherwise, in today's day and age, you've got to do your homework, particularly with arguably one of the most important appointments you make to the... and at the time, there was a lot of discussion about whether somebody who's been removed from office twice for various situations is going to be the right thing. And also given his views on what he'd said about America. So I think at the time, and I remember saying, I don't think he was the right person for the job.
Take our break, James. Sorry, we'll come back to it in a second. We'll take a few more calls on this after the break. We just have to get to it now. Sorry. 0207 862 2222. Sebastian, stay with us. We've got loads of people calling about Starmer. Will he be gone? So we're just asking whether you think he's toast by Christmas or turkey by Christmas in the oven. Judith in Flintshire, do you think so?
Oh, I hope so. It'll be the best Christmas present ever. He's a shocking disgrace to this country. He's an embarrassment. To think that he knew what was going on and yet he still stood by on the Prime Minister's questions on Wednesday and still said that he had confidence in him. Well, then that says it all about him.
Thank you, Judith.
I'll be just glad.
Thank you so much. Moving on. I'm sorry, I'm just going to take loads of calls. William in Durham, hi.
Hi.
Supportive or not, or gone by Christmas?
I'm not. I don't support, and I'm not against. What I'm saying is that let them that are without any sin or anything, let them cast the first stone. All politicians fall from grace. There's not one that can say, "Oh, I'm the big cheese. I haven't done anything wrong."
Yeah.
So why is it that when people are like that, suddenly everyone's up against them? Oh, we don't like Starmer. Oh, we're against the Labour thing.
I hear you, William. Thank you. Listen, I've got it. That's a gracious point of view, depending on how you see it. Thank you. Nita in Hampshire, what do you say?
I hope he does go, because whatever he says, he does a U-turn on it. I mean, for instance, he was supporting Madison, and then the next minute he's sacking him. So you can't believe whatever he says.
Thank you. Let me just put that to Sebastian, because he has done so many U-turns. The winter fuel allowance, they scrap it. The benefits cut, they cancel. Angela Rayner, he supports, then he sacks. Mandelson, he supports, then he sacks. Why can't he make up his mind?
Well, I think he's having the power to change his mind. Look, I'm not going to defend every U-turn here, but winter fuel is a really good example. They got it wrong the first time, and it was right that they raised the threshold so that it's now people who earn £35,000 or more.
But why did he say it was the right decision then, before he changed it?
Sorry?
He said it was the right decision for the country.
Yeah, because they came in very quickly
knew it was the wrong
in July and had to change it. There's another thing going on here, and there's a theme coming through with the calls, is that we're really quick to want to get rid of leaders, and it's because we've seen that fast turnaround under the Tories. The average tenure for a Tory Prime Minister in the last 14 years, something like 2 years and 10 months. So we're getting addicted to chucking people out the second we don't like them. And how's that gone for us? It hasn't been very fruitful.
That's why I said I don't think he's going to go by Christmas on the basis.
Well, he may not.
It doesn't really matter.
Well, we need stability.
Well, you say we need stability, but also I think that the nation doesn't really mind who leads the Labour Party, because the Labour Party has cooked itself. So you can continue with all your lovely stuff. It's the policy that matters, and the policies are wrong.
Anne in Surrey, hello.
Good morning, Jeremy.
Is he going to be a Christmas turkey?
You know, quite frankly, I don't think it's him. But anyway, apart from that, all I can say to you is that the lady who had to resign recently, Angela Rayner, is that her name?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, she spoke about her son, which is rather sad, I know. However, I worked in a school for special needs children for over 11 years. And they're treated very well and looked after very well. And I feel for her, I do, because it's not a very nice situation to be in. But then to blame everybody else for what she did to us last year with the fuel allowance was disgusting. You know? I mean, the name of God. Like, I'm 79 years age next week. And I worked all my life in Ireland and in this country. I've got 3 pensions, and I have to declare all of them because I'm honest. And I get stuffed then because of it. And there are people doing nothing.
You've drifted into the tax bracket. We've heard a lot about that, yeah.
And they seem to kind of, the people who don't do anything seem to get everything.
All right, thanks, Anne. Thanks so much. Double standards, Yasmin. Anne is saying. That goes back to your Angela Rayner, who you love.
I really admired her. I thought she was good in her place. And actually, he couldn't get his way with her. she pushed for things because, you know, from what I see, I don't know what he's doing as leader of the Labour Party. He doesn't understand inequality. I've never heard him use the word. She did, okay? And I'm not sure the ones who are coming in will do what she did. And I do think he needs to sit down and think about, I don't want him, you know, I do understand what Sebastian is saying, this, you know, ridiculous in and out of Tory politics. You don't want to repeat that. But at the same time, he's behaving like an entitled leader.
Okay.
And we hate that.
Okay, thank you.
Voters hate that.
Thanks for your calls.